Hi and welcome back to 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏𝗀. Today, guys, we are going to be jumping down into the world of Terra Luna once again. We've got some interesting things to talk about, some plans, some airdrops, and how to participate. So as I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏𝗀. Right, with all that said, done, and out of the way, let's jump on down into this, right? So basically I've got the chart up here for Luna to be a BUSD. This is just the daily chart, so you can get an idea of the kind of scope of the retracement. Currently trading at 0.00016 so essentially really cheap with 99.9% crash, etc, etc, etc. It's something we're all familiar with. The reason I started here is to kind of highlight the fact that this could be an interesting opportunity for some investors, but again, look into this as you will. Obviously, just to note, I'm not a financial advisor. I cannot give you financial advice, and make sure you do research on everything as well. I'm just going to give you my thoughts and opinions on the data as I see it. And the first thing I want to talk about is this. So basically, Terra Luna 2.0 proposal passed, and obviously this has issues with it in itself as to how it passed and all that kind of stuff. But essentially, if we just scroll on down here, the Terra Luna 2.0 revival plan has officially passed with over 65% voting in favor of the vote. Now, obviously, we can question whether or not the staking weight or the voting weight was heavily proportionate towards 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏 and all that kind of stuff, etc, etc. I'm not going to go into that in this video. Most of you guys will be familiar by now, because of crypto Twitter. But 20.9% voted to abstain, with 0.33 voting no, and 13.2 voting no with veto. This means a new Terra chain will be created, and Luna will be airdropped across Luna Classic stakers, holders, residual UST holders, and essential app developers. Luna's price is currently trading at this. Obviously, we just went through that. Up 13% in the last 24 hours, which I think it's actually on the way down, which obviously would make sense. So basically, we've obviously got the proposal. We can go through all of this. I'll link these into the description below so you guys get a good idea. And this is the working document. It says it's been passed, blah, blah, blah. The main things I'm going to talk about here are, essentially what post-attack holders in terms of UST and Luna, are looking at acquiring here. Okay, so somewhere down here we have our distribution. So yeah, basically post-attack Luna. So anyone who bought Luna after, and I don't want to use the attack, I've said this before, I say post-Quant, basically you'll be looking at 10% of the total supply of the new supply, right? Being distributed to you, and then 30% unlocks straight away, and then 70% is vested over a 2-year period with a 6-month cliff. So basically you're only going to get 30% of your allocation, okay, and then 70% is slowly distributed to you over 2 years, okay? So just bear that in mind. Now, UST holders post-Quant is 15%, so you'll get 30% at Genesis and 70% over that 2-year period. Obviously, if you were pre-attack, this is basically for anyone that holds 10,000 or less Luna. And again, it's the same scenario. 30% and 30% is unlocked, 70% is vested, and for wallets that have more than 1 million Luna, it's basically a 1-year cliff and a 4-year vesting period. Less than that is a 2-year vesting period, so you can understand that difference. But it's basically wallets with less than 10,000 get 30%, 70% is vested over a 2-year period. So yeah, you kind of get the idea. Now, obviously, there's the community pool at 30%. And basically all pre-attack Luna holders will get 30%, 35%, and it's distributed to pretty much less than 10,000 Luna wallets. Okay, so sorry, wallets with hold less than 10,000 Luna, essentially. Pre-Quant UST holders are 10%. Okay, so whale cap 500k, all that kind of stuff. It's all readable in this document, so I'll link it below. I'm not going to go through it, but let's talk about the snapshot. Okay, so obviously there's the pre-snapshot, which is a pretty obvious one. Basically, it comes in at block 7.5. 7.5 million 400 say 7. 7,544,910. So 7,544,910 block. Okay, that's your block number. Now, the post attack, which is the one that's most of interest to many new retail investors, comes in at 7.79. Okay, so basically 7,790,000. That's your block, and this is approximately, I think it's approximately 4 p.m. UTC tomorrow. So you've got a little bit of time there. Now, what's not clear on this whole entire document here, or inside this document here as well, is essentially where you have to hold those tokens, because they will be bonded when you get them, so they're going to be staked. So therefore, this tells me that we probably cannot have them on an exchange, and therefore we should probably start thinking about moving those coins out of the exchange over to, you know, a Terra Luna wallet. Outside of the exchanges, because essentially that's going to mean that you're probably not going to get that airdrop. So just keep these things in mind. It's not covered in here as far as I could see, so let me know in the comments below to try to help the community out. Where do they have to hold their coins in order to be eligible for the snapshot post attack? Okay, so interesting kind of thing. You're going to have to kind of get a look at that, because I imagine that exchanges are not necessarily going to participate. I don't think exchanges have been overly helpful at the moment / supportive over Terra Luna 2.0. So that's kind of going on there, right? And obviously there's a little bit of a backlash here. Basically, Justin, according to 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧 has contacted the top 5 exchanges in Korea asking for a Luna 2.0 listing. He's responded with, no, I did not do that. That's a lie. So there's a lot of fake stuff going on there. Exchanges are not going to just want to support Terra Luna 2.0. Most centralized exchanges only generally list things if it's in their favor. They either get paid to list it, or they're going to make sizable amounts of transaction fees that it's worth them listing. So do understand that there's a low probability of exchanges supporting 2.0, specifically when it's community run, and it's going to be that decentralized in regards to how it is distributed. Essentially, there isn't a huge incentive necessarily for exchanges to list it, at least from a centralized point. So you've got a couple of things. One, that the trading volume has to be absolutely insane to allow them to want to do it, so they can get huge fees. Alternatively, someone has to pay those exchanges for listing, right? Those are generally how the exchanges work. Now, of course, these are unofficial. These are not, the thing that I guess many people are kind of aware of, but from where most conversations I'm aware of that have happened with centralized exchanges, it's we must talk about this offline, and we must, come to an arrangement. That's usually the underlying thing. And of course, in an unregulated market, these exchanges, these centralized exchanges, can kind of do as they please, which is very frustrating. But that being said, these are all, of course, backdoors and stuff like that to getting things listed in the first place. With all of that being said, though, some exchanges might see some value in 2.0, might want to support the communities, etc., and might participate. But again, I don't think that list is a growing list at this point in time. As I covered with Coinbase Cloud, no longer supporting the Terra Luna APIs infrastructure, and will not support Luna 2.0 infrastructure going forward. So just bear these things in mind. Obviously, there's a backlash on all of this as well. They're responding to things like this, but not talking about the serious legitimate concerns around, the TFL, etc. But let's move on to this one, right? So here we obviously have the airdrop in a little bit more details, right? How to get the airdrop. So it's overwhelming support. I don't think it was overwhelming support, but we'll see. The final release of the Terra core blockchain is going to be on the 27th. Luna will be airdropped to across Luna Classic stakers, Luna Classic holders, residual UST holders, and essential app developers of the Terra Classic. Now, how do you get the airdrop? Basically, is a native asset called Luna. 4 groups will be getting the airdrop: pre-attack Luna, pre-attack AUST, post-attack Luna, and post-attack UST. Pre-attack snapshot on the 27th of May. Will be basically post-attack sorry, the pre-attack snapshot is the 7th of May with a post-attack snapshot as the 27th of May. How much new Lunar will you get? This is very important. Pre-attack is a 1 to 1.1. Pre-attack AUST is 1 to 0.033. Post-attack Lunar is 1 to 0.000015. And post-attack UST is 1 to 0.013. So you can use these to calculate how much Lunar you're going to get. Understand that essentially for every 1 Lunar that you hold today, it will be worth 0.000015 of a Lunar going forward. Okay. Under the new Lunar 2.0. So knowing this, we can say, okay, how many Lunar do we need to have a sizable amount of the new Lunar coins, right? Very important that we understand that. So we can basically make some calculations here, and obviously you're going to get 30% of that. And then, of course, you're going to get 10% of that because that's your allocation. And then you're going to get 30% up front and 70% over a 2-year period. So let's hypothetically say that you've got, let's say, 1 billion Lunar. Okay. That billion Lunar is worth 15,000 Lunar. Okay. New Lunar 2.0 tokens, of which you'll get 4,500 at Genesis, and the remaining will be basically distributed over that 2-year vesting period. Okay, so understand how to do the math, and then you'll be able to understand how much Lunar you might want to own in order to participate. But again, not clear where you have to hold this token. Okay, note that it will be airdropped in a bonded state, meaning you have to unbond it for 21 days to transfer it. So really important that we understand these couple of things. So taking a look at the price, while we started at the price, is we know what it is today, and we can take advantage of maybe buying up a significant amount here in order to gain Lunar 2.0 tokens in the future, if that is the objective of what you want to do. Guys, I'm going to leave the video there. If you have found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications. If you haven't joined us in Discord, links in the description below. Fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. And with all that said, done and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.